Hey guys, welcome in Gorilla Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Bulpin, and it's Monday, December the 9th. All right, we got to recap a ho-hum day. We had 6 plays going yesterday. We ended up going 3-3. Our 3 winners were we took Trey McBride over 66.5 receiving yards. That won for us. We took Isaac Guerrero over 73.5 rushing yards. Thank goodness he covered that before he got injured, so that was a winner. And then we took Kenneth Gainwell over 20.5 rushing yards. That was an easy winner. That cashed for us as well. Our 3 losers, 2 of them were really painful. We took Brock Bowers over 67.5 receiving yards. He had 3 catches for 49 yards on 5 targets. And we were talking about how this guy has the most catches in the entire league, and you weren't even 5 targets. The backup tight end in Las Vegas, Michael Mayer, went 7 for 68 yards. Yeah, that would have covered the backup tight end on 9 targets. That just seems crazy to me that they threw to this guy over and over again instead of Brock Bowers. Anyway, that was our loser. Another strange one. We took Jonnu Smith over 49.5 receiving yards. He's had 100 yards. He's averaging 100 yards a game over his last 3 games. He didn't have a single catch in regulation time. He had 1 target the entire game. It went to overtime, and he caught 3 balls for 44 yards and a touchdown for them to win the game. I got an idea. Use him during the game, and maybe that would have helped. It's funny, I was watching the game, and after the second catch in a row, like he had literally 2 back-to-back catches for about 35 yards, and you could see him mouth, "Throw me the ball," just screaming. Don't worry, buddy, I was screaming that too. Throw him the ball. Didn't happen. That was a loser. And then our last loser was Alvin Kamara, over 82.5 rushing yards. I don't even know what to say. This was 17 rushes for 44 yards. Every time you look up, it's, Kamara rushes for -2 yards. Kamara rushes for 6 yards. Kamara rushes for -5 yards. So this was a bit of a painful game. That's all right. We went 3-3, not the end of the world. We're still crushing this NFL season. So I went back over all of our plays. We are 93-59 on this NFL season. That is 61%. That is professional stuff right there, guys. And then since week 9, we are 44-17, clicking at 72%. That is money-making stuff. Love that. Love those numbers. All right, let's get into our plays for Monday. I got 2 official plays and a same-game parlay for you. So my first play is we're taking Jake Ferguson, the tight end of the Dallas Cowboys, and we're going to take him over 37.5 receiving yards. Now, since he gives up the 4th most receiving yards to the tight end position, the 2nd most tight end touchdowns, and the 4th most receptions to the tight end position, this is an area you can attack versus them. Now, Cooper Rush loves checking down to the tight end. Luke Schoonmaker has done well in Ferguson's absence. He's averaging 48 yards a game over his last 3, just to prove that they still love throwing to the tight end. Over the 3-game stretch that Ferguson's been missing. Now, Ferguson's logged all full practices this week. He should be good to go. And they love this guy. They've loved Jake Ferguson. They let Dalton Schultz walk at the end of the year, so it's not like he's losing his job to Schoonmaker. So I think versus this matchup and this offense, and it's indoors in Dallas, this is going to be a good spot. Give me Jake Ferguson over 37.5 receiving yards. On the other side of the ball, we're going to take Chase Brown over 24.5 receiving yards. Now, Dallas gives up the 8th most receiving yards to the running back position. Now, since taking over this full-time job 4 weeks ago when Zach Moss got hurt, he's got over this receiving yard prop in all 4 of those games, averaging 44 yards a game over that stretch. That's 20 yards of value over that stretch. And this is just a great matchup. Again, no weather, indoor, tons of checkdowns. I love Chase Brown over 24.5 receiving yards. So those are my 2 official plays. And then to round it into a same game parlay, we're going to use those 2. And we're going to add Joe Burrow over 9.5 rushing yards. Now, he's covered this in 3 of his last 5 games. He's averaging 18 yards a game over his last 7 games, so a decent sample size. And Dallas allows the most rushing yards to the quarterback position, which means the defensive line can get after him, but the linebackers are often in coverage and a lot of man coverage. So all of a sudden you see the quarterback look up and he sees backs from all the defenders and he just takes off and run. Like the last 4 quarterbacks, Drew Lock went for 57, Jaden Daniels went for 74, CJ Stroud went for 26, Jalen Hurts went for 56. So everybody is crushing versus Dallas rushing the ball. Now I would kind of compare Joe Burrow more like Drew Lock and CJ Stroud, where they're athletic guys, but they don't, running isn't really part of the game like Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. So But when these guys both went for 57 and 26 over the last two games versus them, this is a great spot. We need 9.5 rushing yards. Love that. So those three together gets you a plus 850 on the same game parlay. So those are our plays today, guys. If you're rocking with me, let's roll.